Hey guys, welcome to the Sports Corner podcast. I'm your host, Dante Velez. I'm accompanied by my co-host, Kiki Ragland. And today we're going to be talking about the NBA playoffs, more specifically the game one of the NBA Finals between OKC and the Pacers. So, yeah,
Wow.
there's a lot to talk about. I mean, if you had watched that game one, especially the ending, there's a lot to unpack with that.
What the Haliburton?
Exactly,
I mean,
exactly, man. It's insane.
it's insane. And we talked about this before the pod, but he is 4 for 4 on clutch shots these playoffs.
Mm-hmm.
One over Giannis, one against the number one seed Cleveland to go up 2-0.
Yeah.
Cleveland, one in Madison Square Garden, the game tying in MSG, and then eventually going up 2-0 too. And AC, the best team in the NBA, to steal game one.
Yeah. That's an
What the
insane
hell?
stat. I feel like have we ever seen anything like that where there's been a game winner from a specific player in every single like round of the playoff?
No,
So like,
not.
I
I mean,
feel like this is yeah.
you can relate it to maybe LeBron.
Mm-hmm. He had a couple.
He he had a couple game winners, but not in every round of the
Right.
playoffs, and more specific, and the finals too.
Yeah.
Haliburton, yeah, and just the Pacers in general. They were a 60-1 odds of winning the NBA Finals, and now they're three
Right.
games to go against this red hot OKC team who was 7-1 at home before this game,
Mm-hmm.
and has just been so dominant and lights out at home. And now the pressure is shifted to them.
Yeah, this is definitely a
Indiana has the
statement
momentum.
win. It's a statement
They're
win
gonna
for
win.
them.
I don't even know what to say about this Indiana team. I mean, they have. I mean, we've talked about their depth in our past sports corners, and they kind of know who they are.
Hmm.
But to go on this run with the confidence they have, with the shooters and the players who are just not afraid of the moment, specifically Haliburton, it's so cool to see, and we are witnessing. If they win this series, history.
It's
This would
definitely
go
one of
down.
the greatest
This would go down as one of
playoff
the.
runs.
You took the words right out of my mouth. One of the greatest playoff runs if they win this series, which is still it's a long way to go. They only have game one, but they needed to steal a game. They got it.
Right. I don't think anyone really saw this coming from them. I mean, especially going into the playoffs. Like I,
Well, I remember
I,
you picked the
yeah,
Bucks to win, and I was hesitant too. I was going back and forth of whether to
you
pick them, but
know,
I had well,
yeah.
I don't
I
know.
didn't really, I didn't really expect much of the Pacers going forward because, they were what, their seed number four,
Yeah, they were
and
the 4 seed, under 500. Come Christmas,
yeah,
they were under 500 team, and then they just went on that run after the season to make it to the 4 seed. But still, you would never have picked this team. No one picked this team to make this run that they had.
yeah.
I thought they wouldn't go past Cleveland. I thought Cleveland would beat them pretty definitively, maybe
Mm-hmm.
five.
Five
But
games.
they're continuing to prove viewers and ESPN experts too. I mean, I picked OKC. For this series, OKC in 6. What did you do? What'd you
Well,
pick?
for this, I mean, going forward with everything that they've done, um, I picked OKC in five, not to slight the Pacers because they have been proving everybody wrong,
Yeah,
but OKC has just been that dominant in the regular season and in the
yeah.
playoffs, and so I don't think it would be crazy to say that they could gentlemen sweep them, but I mean,
I
Pacers
mean, I
have
don't.
been proving everybody wrong. So it's not
Still
crazy.
win. Yeah, they could. OKC come out in game two. Was strong, just trying. Try. They have their pride. They're going to come out red hot.
Hmm.
But like I said, the pressure's on their side, and they need this win. Like if the
Yeah.
Pacers go up 2-0, I mean OKC, they can easily win 2 games on the road. So not easily, but they can win 2 games on the road.
Yeah.
But Pacers, again, they're capable also of going up 2-0 on the road. They did it against Cleveland, and then they did it against the Knicks too. And OKC, I agree. I think they're a better team than both those teams, but Pacers, they don't just want to get one game. They're going to come out strong too and try and make a statement more than they already did. But
Yeah, I think. Well, here this can be on record here. I think this is how it goes. I think the next game, OKC, they have a pretty good bounce back game and they win. They tie the series up going into Indiana, and then I think they win again. I think OKC wins again, going up 2-1, and then the Pacers tie the series up at home, and then going back to OKC. Then OKC wins, and then really the next game is up for grabs, and it's just it's tough.
Since OKC gets 4 home games, gets one more home game than the Pacers. Pacers need to be after game 4, or they need to have they've always had the lead throughout these playoff series, but that'd be a better scenario for OKC if it was 2-2. They'd go back home and then they would have their momentum, and then
right.
I think I would want to nice if Indiana could go up 3-1 like how they did to the Knicks. But that could happen. I mean, this series, maybe it could go to 7, but
I'd like
Indiana
it to.
needs to win. Yeah, the series reminds a lot of the Denver OKC series, where especially this game 1, where Denver. Well, first of all, the lead Indiana had all night was with 0.3 seconds left. They didn't grab the lead at all until after Haliburton hit that shot, which is a crazy stat or just crazy. No scenario. I never thought that Indy would game. They always kept it close, like how Denver did, and then they just kept chipping and chipping away. And then in the final 2 minutes, OKC went cold. Indiana went on a 12-2 run, shot by Miles Turner in the corner, that bank shot. That's one of those shots where you just percentage, but then you're just like, oh my god, wow! They cut it to 4. You're just like that. After that shot, I was just like, Indiana actually has a chance to win this game. Whoa!
Right. That's a testament to them, to the grittiness and the heart of that team. They're a mentally tough team because of the comebacks that they've completed in these last couple of games.
Well, I thought Nembhard too. I mean, Haliburton's going to get all the credit for making that shot, as he should. But I thought the secret MVP of that game was Andrew Nembhard, because kind of controlled down the stretch. He was point guard. He kind of controlled the pace. He was not afraid of the moment. He was kind of making the drive, not afraid to drive in on the best defense, especially Lou. Like that shot he made against SGA with like a minute and a half ago, that step back 3. I mean, they're going to give the credit to Haliburton, but Nembhard helped win that game, was such a definitive role in that game, and it was huge. They needed that. They needed kind of that boost too, but it's like you said, it was a role team. It was role players. They all contributed what they could, and also they didn't even have a great game. It wasn't a great game.
No, if you look at if you look at like the team turnovers for both, there's a large margin, and Haliburton only had 12 points going up to his game winner. To the very last second of the game, he only had 12 points, and
you're Indiana, you kind of look at this game too. You're like, this game too. Or if you're OKC, you're just like, how the fuck did we let them win this game? With all the turnovers they had 20 in the first half, 25 total, and then you're at home, A stat of that with the Indiana had 20 turnovers and OKC, especially with OKC playing at home, you would assume win pretty easily. So when you're OKC, you're just like, shit, how the fuck did we let them steal game one at our house? Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
and then when
definitely a
you're,
gut punch.
but then if you're
Yeah.
Indiana, you see this game and you're like, wow, we didn't really have that great of a game. Play a lot better than how we played tonight. You know, back to my point of saying they're not satisfied with just stealing one game. They're gunning for 2-0, going up 2-0, and
And they have
they
they have the
continually proved
weapons
us
for
wrong.
it. They have the mindset. They have the offensive game plan for it. Because I mean, Haliburton. They held Haliburton to 14 points with this game winner. They're going to remember him for this game. But that was one of his worst games. And like efficiency wise, it wasn't the best, and points wise. So if don't let him get hot. If you're OKC, don't let him get hot in the next game, because then that's big trouble for the Thunder. And
Yeah,
I mean, that just says a lot for how the Pacers are on track to really give the Thunder a tough time in this series.
well, they're such a resilient team. You know,
Mm-hmm.
like their resiliency is speaks for itself of just how they don't give up. Like I was watching after the game, and Haliburton came on and he interviewed him. And
Mm-hmm.
Haliburton and Van Pelt basically was just like, do you guys ever feel pressured or just look at the clock? And Haliburton's like, no, we never look at the clock. We never really stop until like we don't feel that pressure. I mean, we're human, but that's not how we operate. We play until the buzzer sounds. And it shows it too, because they just, when the moment gets bigger, they seem to be getting calmer.
Right. It's so funny because it's like when they're down, like for the majority of the game, they're always committing turnovers and they're always making mistakes. But it's not until clutch time that they really wake up and they really play their best basketball. Which those are the most dangerous teams. Those are the ones that come to play when it matters the most. And what it really does say about the team is, even though Halliburton wasn't playing his best basketball, they trusted him to handle the rock in the last seconds of the
That's why the
game.
coach didn't take a timeout. I mean,
Yeah,
other coaches in that scenario, they would want to get a timeout, maybe run a play, like set up an offensive play. But
they
and
trusted
that's
him.
also what Halliburton talks about too. The coach trusts them to make the right play, and that I think is a huge boost, and that just speaks for itself too, what this Indiana team can accomplish and who they are.
Yeah.
So
So here's my question: is if the Pacers, I mean, this is just game one, but if the
yeah,
Pacers do win and they complete this playoff run, like, where do you think Halliburton ranks among like the top players of the league? Like, do you think he's in like top
oh,
10
I think.
conversation, top five conversation of the
Oh, I don't know
league?
about you. He's not
Mhm.
top five yet, but you know, proving us all wrong with what he's been able to do these playoffs. I mean, like, if anything, when all the overrated chants, he started hearing them, that fueled him and, actually just like motivated him to say, like, okay, you think I'm overrated? Watch this. Yeah,
Mhm.
watch that. Watch this. Look what I just did in Madison Square Garden. Look what I
It
just did in game
motivated him
one.
to be better.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. And I say he could be in top 10.
Yeah, I agree.
Just because of how there are so many talented players who do well in the regular season, but in the playoffs they just don't perform. But Halliburton is doing the complete opposite. He's doing great. I mean, he did fine in the regular season, but he is on this crazy run, and he's just such a mentally tough player.
Hmm.
And it seems as the stages gets bigger, his mind just gets calmer, and
That's a
and
mark
it's
of a
just
of a true great player.
that's a mark of a top 10 player.
Yeah. Yeah, so I think
So
I think if
that's what I
whether
think.
they win or they lose, I think I can still consider him in the top 10, because um,
Yes.
like, yeah, win or lose, because no one expected him to be in this place at all. And so he's
No.
proving so many people wrong because of that. And I think after this season, going into the next season, people are going to be looking at him very differently.
And he's still
And
young too.
yeah,
I mean, like, and they're still a young team. They're only going to get better. I mean, so is OKC. I mean, I feel like these two teams, especially now with
good
Tatum's
young
injury,
teams.
and Boston, just like, with whatever it's going to happen with them, Indiana and OKC are going to be the two
Mm-hmm.
top teams in the East and West. And, they're just going to get better. So I feel like this is kind of like the new generation is going to
The
be with these
futures
teams.
are bright.
This is the future. Yeah. Yeah.
And
So
I guess going into the next game, which is on Sunday,
Sunday,
what do you have for your game two predictions? Who do you have winning?
I have OKC winning. I
Yeah,
think
me too.
they're going to do what they did against Denver. They have their pride. They're going to come out guns blazing, just try and
That's a
just,
series. We're gonna have a series on our hands, and it's gonna be
yeah.
really interesting because of
But
that.
now we have a series. That's
Yeah,
what I wanted.
that's what I was hoping for.
Yeah, if you're not a fan of
Yeah,
it, if you're just a basketball fan, you want this. You want a
right.
good NBA final series, and I think we're gonna have it.
Yeah. So I think it'll be
And
tied series, and
it'll be a tight series.
Going into Indy, it's
Tough
gonna be a whole new.
because they're gonna come out blazing too. Like, I don't know, like they showed there were fans watching the game in Indiana Stadium, and they just
Mhm.
went nuts. I mean, it
Yeah,
was all the reactions, but I love seeing that from the OKC standpoint and from the Indiana
both
standpoint.
both fan bases have such heart.
Whoever wins this first time,
That's true. That it's gonna
it's
be
awesome.
it's making history. There's no big market teams like Celtics or the Knicks or the Lakers or anybody
Yeah,
like that in the finals. So it's brand new for either of these teams, which makes it even more investing.
that tells you too. Like, it's coming to a new generation of NBA. I mean, this is different. It feels like this season in general, too, not just these
It's so
playoffs. This
different.
season, it's just feeling has a weird vibe to it, and just like a weird feeling. I'm just
It's
like,
been one
wow,
of the
what's
best
happening?
playoffs in a while for
I
sure.
agree.
It's
I
been
agree.
really good.
Yeah, yeah,
Objectively, like even though my Lakers lost, but
yeah. But they
it's
didn't
still been
deserve
really
it.
no,
Deserve it. We'll see what they do, but they didn't deserve to
no, they
go this
didn't.
far
No,
or win a playoff rounds.
definitely not.
But real quick too, for you, who do you see? What are you still picking OKC to win this series?
Overall, in this series, I had OKC in five before this game, but after this game, I still have OKC winning. They are the more consistent team, but I think the Pacers will. I think I'm gonna have to change it to OKC in six.
I agree.
I
That's me
think
too.
I think
That's
the
me.
Pacers
I still
will
think
have a bigger fight than I
I,
realized it would.
but
Who knows?
prove us
That's what makes
wrong.
this
They
final
prove
so
everyone
interesting.
wrong. Well, I'm still saying OKC in
I
six,
was wrong
but
about the Pacers before, and I've been wrong about them before and again, and so they could prove me
keep
wrong
proving
again.
us wrong. So, and honestly, though, I hope they prove us wrong because I'm kind of
That would
rooting for
be
them in the series.
that
I
would be
love
great.
they're such a fun team, and the fight they have, and they're the underdogs too. I always go for the
I'll always go for
underdogs.
the underdogs.
Yeah. So,
But
hey, we'll see. We'll see.
that concludes our episode of the Sports Corner, and well, thank you guys for joining us today. And don't forget to leave your comments down below about who you think's going to win Game Two and the overall series between the Thunder and the Pacers. We'd love to
Yeah.
hear your
We
comments
want to hear
about
what you guys
that.
think.
Yeah, what you guys think, and make it a discussion down there. But yeah, thank you guys again for watching, and
And can't
stay.
wait to talk about it soon. Can't wait to talk
Yeah.
about the next couple games.
All
See
right,
what
guys.
happens.
Thanks.